Now, for all you skeptics out there that don't think war could break out at any time, that no one's preparing, and that things behind the scenes, all the puzzles aren't fitting together, let me try and fit them the best I can for you in this segment here, as to basically proof that something major is about to happen. And I'm just going to give you the forewarning right now, before you turn the news on tonight and hear that no, everything's fine, no, there's no testing going on, there's nothing going on. President Trump isn't meeting with the UN behind closed, for no reason. When he basically comes out and says that, how much he hated the EU and how much he wanted to defund him and basically destabilize him. So, just look at this CNBC headline today. President Trump to host unusual meeting with UN Security Council. Right? Because, he hated the UN. He pretty much cut half their funding from our end. And now he's having a meeting with them, I guess, to brace for war. And why do I say brace for war? Well, because I've got about 3 or 4 more articles proving that we are basically pre-gaming for a major catastrophic event. And one, kind of a semi-one that happened a few days ago, last week. That really just, when I saw this, I thought, whoa, this is this is basically like the premonition of something crazy happening, like an EMP. So I'll get into that in a hot minute. Yeah, but Trump to host unusual meeting with the UN Security Council. The UN Security Council is the biggest crap body I've ever heard. Remember, they were the ones that imposed sanctions on our side, on Israel, for basically moving into Palestinian territory when Israel can barely claim their own land as we have it now. And the Palestinians are killing Israelis, and it's kind of going on back and forth. There's a big civil war happening there in Israel and the West Bank itself. So that all happened there. The UN is just a ridiculous group, I think, that Herbert Hoover started. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's just going off memory here, and it's or Teddy Roosevelt. One of them. It's just it shouldn't be around, but it is. So thank God, yes, Trump defunded them, but this also is having incredible effects. Now all the warmongers are happy about this. Now all the warmongers are happy about Trump for bombing Syria. Remember that big old bombing that happened at their base in a small town, and with cruise missiles. And now, we're about to go to war with North Korea. It seems we're sending the USS Carl Vinson over there with a few other warships, a fleet, into the Korean Peninsula with Japan and South Korea. They're doing simulated missile launches and tests and defense programs and things like that. And it's all now. Why do I say that we're pre-gaming for war? Well, after meeting with the UN Security Council, should I say before that, I read this article, and this comes out very interestingly. I'm going to throw it up here for you. It's actually out of InfoWars, and it's called Operation Gotham Shield, U.S. government to simulate nuke blast over Manhattan as actual war nears. False flag watch is now active. Of course. Now, they said this is going to happen pretty much starting today, the 24th through the 26th, and the 26th really is the day for it. That I've come to realize from just reading different articles about it. I've got 3 or 4 more just about this itself. I lost count, and it's basically here. It's got a list of the government agencies it's going to involve. That includes the Department of Energy, Department of Defense, Domestic Nuclear Detection Office, FBI, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. Remember all the FEMA camps? Yeah, so they could be involved too. U.S. Northern Command, NORTHCOM. State of New Jersey Office of Emergency Management. State of New York Office of Emergency Management. City of New York Office of Emergency Management. All of them are behind this and are going to basically be simulating for major attacks. That could be anything. That could be nuclear war. That could be an EMP. That could be terrorist attacks. They're gonna start doing that now on the White House at a zero hedge, total chaos. Washington D.C. to hold massive coordinated terror attack. drilled this Wednesday. So bam, what's that? The 26th. So now they're coming out. It's admitted. This came out. Oh, this came out. I believe 7 days on the 21st. This came out the 21st. So this came out 3 days ago. And then I thought, okay, well, that's I can see that happening because we're getting so close to some actual potential for war. And then I was like, okay, well, let me see what happens in the next few days and see if anything else comes out with it. All of a sudden, bam, 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 I'm seeing like 3 or 4 articles coming out saying like, whoa, we really are prepping for something crazy. Why would we pump millions and millions of dollars using actors and civilians and fire department and police department and the bomb squads and SWAT teams and the government agencies to plot something if something wasn't going to happen? Why would we waste tens of millions of dollars on something if we thought that North Korea wasn't a threat, if we thought Syria wasn't a threat, or Russia for that matter, moreover, if we thought nothing across the ocean was a threat, if North Korea is just pulling our leg, thumping our noses, and basically, taking us for a joyride, warmongering wise, if we were not spending this money. I call total bullshit on this. I'm sorry. I call total crap on this. I think it's a total... This is obviously happening. This is happening. It's happening in D.C. We had a power outage come out in San Francisco. When that happened, it was initially San Francisco when I saw it, and I posted on my Facebook. It was on Drudge. This was on Drudge, too. This InfoWars article was on Drudge. I saw it. It was a big old... if you ever look at Drudge reports, all big old black capital letters. It was there. Now they're simulating a nuke blast. They're going to start simulating other things. And, then we got Trump meeting with the host to host a UN meeting. And then, maybe go to Congress and declare war if someone, decides to strike us. Or maybe talk to them about hitting North Korea first. Or, I don't know what they're going to talk about, okay? I don't know. But when we heard about that San Francisco attack... when I saw that, I was like, okay, the first thing I thought, literally the first thing I thought, I was at work when I saw that. And literally the first thing I thought was, oh my God, they're simulating for an EMP. And then I was kind of like, being radicalized. And I posted it, and then other people commented like, oh, could this be a pregame for something? And then I thought like, well, yeah, like, let me, my idea was an EMP. Because that's probably, to me, that's the most dangerous weapon humans ever made. Next to probably the Saturn II missile that Russia has. That is the most dangerous weapon just because it would be a slow, horrible death in America. Pretty much all of America's power grids would be off. Think of the people, think of the millennials and the young kids and the teenagers and the middle schoolers that all depend, and even adults and everybody that depends on technology. And people that are hooked on their Facebooks, hooked on their Instagrams, hooked on all this crap. Do you think these people could survive a single day in the wilderness without panicking, shitting their pants, wetting themselves, and eventually sadly dying? By God knows what. It would be survival of the fittest if an EMP hit us today. Everything would go out. Your car wouldn't work. You got to prepare now. Get a water filter, something. Get food. This could happen at any moment. Obviously, because there's tactics happening. I'm going to dive more deep into these. I'm just going on a rant about this because this is ridiculous. How close we are. Professionals say that we are the closest ever now. And experts say that we're the closest ever to World War III, and everybody basically would die if an all-out nuclear war would occur tomorrow. I'm not saying everyone would die tomorrow, but if a nuclear war occurred tomorrow, give us some time, everyone would basically die. I don't totally believe that. I think that there would be maybe a handful, like a few thousand, or maybe maybe not even a million people that would survive going down south or something. But you gotta, this is where planning comes in. And a lot of people, I'm looking around a lot of people and no one's thinking about this. No one really sees how severe this is. That's why I get so pissed off, because it's that real and it's in front of our faces and we're doing nothing about it to stop it. We're just gonna let it kill us and roll over and die. And everything we ever built, everything we ever worked for, all the technology we've ever made and the advancements of human civilization will come to a complete end, and we're done for as a society and as a humanitarian force on this planet. It's it. That's it. We're all done. It's over. I'll be right back. Stay with me on the Justin Comer Show. This is getting too extreme, people. You can't miss this.